So we're going to start lying on the mat. Now, I like to lie on the mat and start with our arms by our side, palms down. I want you to feel the hip bones on the mat, the back of the rib cage. So don't be afraid to reach back and make a lovely space between your hips into your waist, and really feel the back of the rib cage and the shoulders on the mat. Back of your head on the mat and nose pointing to the ceiling. Take your feet out to the front and bring your feet around. That way they're more likely to be hip width apart. Keep your knees the same width. You want your feet to feel lovely and light on the mat. And to start with, we're going to imagine that there is a marble between your navel and the top of your pelvic bone. You want to keep it there nice and balanced, so you'll feel a little tilt to redress where you're at, so that imaginary marble stays lovely and level. Then I want you to breathe in through the nose and into your rib cage, and breathe and draw those abdominal muscles into your marble. And on your out breath, I want you to roll that marble down towards your rib cage, down towards the sternum. Feel your back imprint onto the mat. Now keep your back imprinted onto the mat. Breathe in again. Draw into the abdominals again, and this time draw your sit bones together. I want you to activate both your abdominals and your buttocks. And on your next out breath, with both of those engaged, you lift your tailbone and your hip bones only. Then I want you to lower the hip bones to the mat and the tailbone. Roll that imaginary marble back into the middle of your lower abdominals. Breathe in, draw those abs into your marble again. Roll that marble on the out breath down once more to the sternum. Your back is imprinted on the mat. Breathe in again, engage your abdominals and your buttocks again. Lift your tailbone and your hips, and a little bit of your lower back, just one vertebra at a time. And keep the rest of the back on the mat. And then lower the lower back if you can, bit by bit by bit by bit. Draw those abs in to give you a little bit more mobility there. And once your hips are back in contact with the mat, bring that marble back to the middle of your clock face, to the middle of your abdominals. So you are once again in a neutral spine, a neutral pelvis position. Breathe in, draw those abs in again, roll your marble back down. Your back is imprinted on the mat. Breathe in, engage your abdominals and your gluteals or your buttocks. Lift your tailbone, lift your hips, and slowly send your tailbone to the ceiling, bit by bit. This time you bring the lower back up, and you're still below the middle of the back. You may feel your back is lifted now until the waist is level with the mat. Now I want you to imagine that your hips are on an imaginary skateboard. Relax them on that skateboard there. Release a little bit through those abs. And I want you to roll that skateboard from left to right. So getting a little bit more mobility there through your lower back into your hips as you roll that imaginary skateboard once again from left to right. Bring those hips to the center and start lowering your back. Draw the abs into your spine as you get into those vertebrae of your lower back, then the hips in contact with the mat, and then come back to neutral spine. Breathe in, draw your abs in again, flat back on the out breath. Breathe in, engage your abdominals and your buttocks. Lift your tailbone, lift your hips, and come all the way up. I want you to now start pressing the hips to the ceiling as you lift each vertebra up off the mat, one by one. Keep your shoulders and back of the head on the mat. Arms by your sides, the palms are lovely and light. Keep your feet as light as you can as well. Really squeeze into those buttocks so you get that lift into the hips as they press into the ceiling. Take a couple of breaths in there. Then release at the top of your back and in between your shoulder blades, and allow your spine to come back down onto the mat, one vertebra at a time, all the way down. Draw those abs in as you come to the bottom to get all the lower back in if you can, and once more into neutral spine. So this is called our bridge, and we're going to do one more bridge. So come into your flat back on your next out breath. Engage in both your abdominals and your buttocks. Lift the tailbone and the hips once again. And we start peeling your spine up off the mat. Imagine every single vertebra all the way up your spine coming up one by one. As you press your hips up towards the ceiling, when you can't lift anymore, make sure your buttocks are working to keep you lovely and in position. And lift your arms up to the ceiling, palms forward. Take a lovely breath in on the out breath. Bring the elbows out to the side. Bring your forearms, the back of your forearms out to the mat and reach those arms behind you. Now, some of you may not be able to get the back of your arms onto the mat. That's okay. Keep reaching away. Keep squeezing those buttocks. Keep lifting through the pelvis and breathe in, and on the out breath, you come down. Again, keeping those arms reaching behind you, lowering one vertebra at a time, all the way down. Take your time. Don't rush this. And make a mental note of where you may be coming down in little sections. Come back into neutral spine. When you breathe in this time, engage those abs, because you're going to bring your arms over, but your head and shoulders are going to lift. Keep reaching those fingertips as far away from you as you can, and lower. And as they come by your side, you bring your head down back onto the mat. Lovely work. Make sure that your hips are once again in the neutral spine, neutral pelvis position. I want you to bring your arms up this time and bring your palms to face each other. Keep your shoulders melting into the mat. I want you to reach away with the right arm and reach away with the left leg. Reach, reach, reach. Keep those abs lovely and lovely and engaged to keep your hips stable. And come back up. Breathe in on the out breath, go in the opposite arm and leg, reaching away. The only thing moving are your opposite arm and leg. And breathe out, use those abdominals to keep you stable. Reach away and back. And one more time on the other side. Watch that the rib cage doesn't flare up as you send that arm behind. Really nice. Bring your arms out to the side. Bring your feet to the inside width of your mat. Drop your knees over to the right. Keep your shoulders on the floor and turn your head to look at the left hand. Breathe in, draw the abs in. Bring the knees up and over the other side and turn your head to look at the other hand. And bring your knees back up. Now you can come onto one side and walk up, or you can bring your knees in, take hold of the crease of the knees and rock up to sitting. I want you to come up high on your sit bones. You have a sit bone in each buttock, shoulder blades drawn together, and bring your hands just around the back of your thighs. I want you to breathe in, draw the abdominals to your spine. Sometimes we say hollow through the abdominals. And as you do that, you come onto your tailbone and bring the shoulders forward. So you create a C shape in your spine. And then come sit back up again. And again, we come down and back up. So trying to get a lovely tilt in our pelvis, this time in our sitting position. Couple more times. Draw the shoulder blades together. Send the legs long. Keep the feet lovely and relaxed. Reach the arms up. Breathe in, draw the abs in, come up out of your waist. I want you to reach those arms away from you, and I want you to feel as if you're coming over an imaginary beach ball on your lap. Keep reaching forward as you come up over that imaginary beach ball. When your arms are out front, keep reaching them forward. Imagine I'm drawing the fingertips away from you. Reach, reach, reach. Allow your head to feel relaxed, taking a few breaths in there. And then drawing the abdominals in first on the out breath. Restack in your spine in this position. Really nice. We're going to come over onto our fronts. So with your hips onto the mat, walk the legs away. Try and create a lovely space between the lowest rib and the hip on each side. And we just send the arms away out into the corners of your mat. Walk the legs away to do the same behind you. Pressing your hips into the mat if it's comfortable. Reach the crown of the head away, your eye line looking down at the mat as if you're looking at yourself in an imaginary mirror. I want you to breathe in, draw the belly button to the spine. And on your out breath, reach the right arm and left leg away. Reach, reach, reach. Now you may reach so far, they may start lifting. That's okay. Don't lift first. Lower. Go on the other side. Breathe in on the out breath. Reach away the left arm and right leg. You reach away, they may start to lift. Keep reaching as they lift. And lower. And again, the other side. Reach. Don't go into a lift first. Make sure you're elongating the opposite arm and leg away, and then they lift. And lower. One more time on each side. Keep those abdominals drawn into your spine as you reach away. One more time, left arm, right leg. And lower. Lovely. Bring those arms out now so you form an E shape with your arms and your head, a capital E. Keep the crown of the head reaching away. The eye line in the head is still down. Draw the abs in. Keep those hips pressed into the mat. Breathe in on the out breath. Imagine you have a marble under your nose this time and you're rolling that marble away. And when your head can't reach away any further, you start to peel up through the sternum. Now, as you peel up, try and keep your hands lovely and light on the mat. Shoulder blades glide down your back as you peel up. Now, depending on your mobility, you peel up until your bottom ribs are still on the mat, or somewhere before then, which may be the optimal lift for you. Come back down with control and with the breath. Again, really consciously, try not to press into the floor with the hands. Imagine they're on thin, thin ice. Breathe in, roll your marble away with your nose with the out breath. Now you're not lifting your head to look up. You're reaching the crown of the head away from you to keep a lovely long neck. Then your sternum starts to peel up off the mat and you can feel your shoulder blades glide down your back. Now, if you want to add on a little bit more of a challenge here, you can lift your arms up and then come back down to the mat with control. And we're going to do one more. Roll the marble away with the out breath. You peel up beautifully, slowly, keeping the crown of the head long. Shoulder blades drawing down your back as you come up, 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 until your bottom ribs are on the mat, or a little bit before, if that's okay for you. You lift your arms up if that works for you, but you come down with control. Bring your arms to the floor. Slightly press into the mat this time with your hands. We're going to come up a little bit higher into more of a cobra. Breathe in, roll the marble away with your nose first. I still want you to concentrate on the mobility in your upper back first. So peel up bit by bit off the floor, your sternum coming up a little bit, shoulder blades glide down your back. When your shoulder blades are gliding down the back, then press into the mat. Keep focusing on the peeling up off the mat as you start straightening your arms. You feel your abdominals lift off the mat as your arms straighten and look to the front. Take a few lovely breaths in there. Come down with control. Slowly bend your elbows. Feel your abdominals come onto the mat first, and then come down bit by bit, all the way to the mat. And we're going to do one more. So when you're in your starting position, breathe in, draw the abs in to prepare on the out breath. Roll your marble away with the nose. Reach the crown of the head away. Start sliding or gliding the shoulder blades down your back as your sternum peels up off the mat. When you come up to the bottom ribs on the mat, press gently into the floor. Start straightening your arms as you peel all the way up, leaving just your pelvic bone on the mat, obviously on the back of top bottom half of your body, and look to the front. Arms lovely and straight. Breathe in there. and come back down with control, all the way back down to the mat. Hands each side of your shoulders, press up and sit back into child's pose, bottom on your feet, head towards the mat or forehead on the mat, and release out in your lower back. Take a few beautiful breaths in there and come back up. We're on all 4 points. Come back and sit on your bottoms. We're just going to do some nice rotations and side bends to close so we get that full mobility all the way through. So bring your feet out, just a slight little V shape. If you're sitting forward on your mat, much narrower than the width of your mat. Shoulder blades drawn together, hands by your side. Bring your left arm up to start. Take your right arm out slightly from you and reach over. We're going to do 3. I want you to reach up first. Abs drawn in. You feel that left buttock being slightly lighter on the mat as you lean over to the right. And one more time. And reach over. Let's go the other side. Reach up and come over. Come up. Reach up first. Come up out of the waist and reach over. And up one more time. Reach up. Come over. And back up, arms out to the side, shoulder blades drawn together. Breathe in, come up out of the waist, and we'll rotate to the left. Come all the way to that side. Keep your chin in line with your sternum. Otherwise, you're just giving yourself a lovely, decent neck stretch, which is okay. But we also want to make sure we're getting a rotation in our waist. You rotate and back to the front. Breathe in, up out of the waist and rotate to the right. We're just going to do 2 more each side, but a little double pulse. Keep the shoulders away from your ears. Breathe in, come up out of the waist. Turn to the left, pulse, pulse to the front. Breathe in, up, pulse, pulse to the front. And 1 more. And over and to the front. Hands by your side, soles of the feet together. We'll come forward into a butterfly stretch. Bring your head down towards your feet. Nice stretch as you put your forearms on your shins for a nice stretch there through the back. Breathe in and come sit back up. And arms by your side, shoulder blades drawn together. And you're done.